Hello, hello, hello. We're back for another IG live session. Join us, join us, join us. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You know it's a Monday morning. For me, it's a Monday evening. And it's time to get this live popping. Oh. Hello,
Good, mor-
hello, sister.
good morning. Good morning.
You can hear me well, right?
Yes, I can. Can you see me okay? What am I looking
I
like?
can see you. It's a little
There
dim.
we go.
But yeah, there you go. There you go. I can see
Let's
that
see.
beautiful smile now. Hey,
How you
hey.
feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Had a great day with my kids at work. Just feeling blessed and
Yes,
grateful.
I know that's
How about
right.
you?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good for a Monday, It's ready to rock and roll.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So we just put out our top 25 list and
Yes.
we got a lot of DMs about it.
I know a lot of comments. I'm interested to see like other people like how they're feeling about, their own list. But it was hard doing it. I don't know how you felt about.
It was difficult for me as well because I think I love the game so much. It's hard to just put 25 people. There are a few people
Agreed.
I feel like I left off just because I love their game, but then you
Who'd you
have
leave
to get
off?
get into the accolades and all of that. One person that really strikes my mind is Jennifer Gillum. Like
Mm,
I just loved her game, the ferociousness, the way she led her team. It's just so many. Ruthie Bolton Holyfield.
true.
Yeah, it's just so many players that we grew up watching that were just elite to me. But it's like, okay, now I gotta look at the accolades. Did you win the championships?
Right.
Did you get any all time type of thing? So it was hard to take some people off my list, but
I can't even believe I left Ruthie off. Like now that you're saying, I'm sitting here thinking back to just and maybe I had to think too, like this is WNBA, you know, players of all time. Like granted, I loved Ruthie during the Olympic years and of course, I mean she did amazing
mhm.
things in the league too, but I guess it's interesting because since the league's been around 25 years now, it's like there were so many older players that
Yes.
started when the league was in its infancy. And so they didn't have as many years to play on the front end. So now we're starting to see the evolution of the game and, younger players are entering the list. Like I put Asia Wilson on my list and she's
Hmm.
obviously like one of the youngest players out there. But I do think for her
She
position,
will be
especially,
in that
yeah,
top for
yeah,
sure.
for sure, for sure. So
Yeah, a
same
couple of
thing with
my
like a
guys
Necker.
got on me. I was debating between these. It's hard to just put a top 25, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we're having that conversation about women's basketball. It's just so much enthusiasm
Mm-hmm.
surrounding this now, and a lot of people are taking notice. A lot of my male friends
Sure.
hit me with all of their knowledge, and I'm like, what you know about? So one of my friends got on me because I didn't put Deanna Nolan on there, and I'm
Yep.
like, you're right, you're right, you're right. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just great having those conversations with people who
Sure.
you really didn't expect to know the history of the game. So
Right, right. Yeah, and it just speaks to, like you said, just the publicity and exposure that women's sports is getting. So, seeing like Candace Parker on a 2K game, for
yes,
example, that does a lot for just the exposure. I don't know. I don't know if we want to talk goats now too, because we both had the
man.
yeah, we both had the same goat on our list with
And
Cynthia
it's
Cooper.
crazy. Cynthia Cooper is the GOAT. And you asked me, you like, I thought Cheryl Swoops was your GOAT. She is my favorite player of all time. Just her swag,
Mm-hmm.
sneakers, just her appearances with commercials and whatnot.
Sure.
I used to try her, I used to do her spin move. But when it comes to GOATs,
Mm.
they're kind of a tie in my mind. I feel like Cynthia Cooper has like a smidget of an edge just because of her age. Like you mentioned
Yes.
earlier, a lot of these players came in on the back end of their careers. She
Hmm.
did too, but she was elite,
Yes. And a
you
lot of people
know?
don't realize, not that I wasn't watching her during this time, but after looking it up and realizing, like I said, she was older, and then she had been killing in Europe for
Yeah,
years before,
years.
the league even started. So to see her like leave Italy and come back to the States and get an opportunity to play in front of, the fans in the US, yeah, raising the roof, right? And you know what? And I think she also was one of those first players that was doing like the Euro step.
Yeah,
I
she was.
mean,
And it was so smooth too. Her
mhm,
Euro stuff was so smooth.
I'm trying to tell you. So, if you look back at highlights, like she was one of those first people bringing that kind of move, to the States.
Hmm.
And I think that's amazing. I think a lot of my list too just had to do with, what they've done for the game in
For
general.
sure.
So
Especially that's one
WNBA.
reason why I put Becky Hammond on the list.
Okay.
I don't, not that she's not great. Like as far as watching her game back then, I think I enjoyed watching Ruthie Bolton Holyfield more and Deanna Nolan more. But
Hmm.
the way she elevated her game to now coaching in the NBA and how she speaks about the game now, just who she is,
That's
I
fair.
had to put her on the list, you know.
Yep.
Even though New York didn't really win any chips, even with
Yeah.
Teresa Weatherspoon, her influence on the game. She could have been
Yeah,
a bench player, but her attitude and her personality is
for
just
sure.
so.
And I said, okay, how can I break this down? You know me, I'm always analyzing stuff. I was like, let me at least do this by position. If I can get my five best point guards and I still had six, my five
You
best
had a right.
shooting guards. Like that's kind of how I tried to put it together. And even still, like you mentioned, like Jen Gillum, grandmama, like come on, that was
She was a
yeah,
beast.
great forward. Great forward that
Uh-huh.
did a lot for the league. And I don't know, it was hard to do this list, but undeniably Cynthia Cooper was my goat. If I had to pick a
Mhm.
second one, I might say Lisa Leslie, and if I had to pick a third, if I could pick a third, I'd go with Diana Taurasi. But it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I
tough.
dig
It's
that.
tough, man.
I, it's real tough, and the list is going to go on, and I just love the growth of the game. I think they need more expansion teams. It's just a good time to
Hmm.
be in the WNBA as a player. Like as we see now in the playoffs happening,
Right?
so many of those other elite players who may end up on this list one day, like Skylar Diggins, balling out there with Phoenix.
Man.
Brittany Griner is on the list, but her defense tenacious. Now she's dunking like every game. She's making the
Hmm.
dunk a norm
Hmm.
for ladies playing that position. So I just love to watch the game.
Yes.
Connecticut. We were thankful to go to the Connecticut Sun game when I was home, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, looking
And
at
they
these
came back.
youngins balling.
Yeah, they came back after the Olympic break just on fire. Like it's insane to watch. And they have such good chemistry as an organization, as a team that yeah, Connecticut if somebody doesn't slow them down, I'm sitting here looking at the brackets like who could slow them down because I don't know
Yeah,
if for this next round Chicago can do it.
they're on like a
So
what? They won like 10 or more games in a row.
I think it
14,
was
I
more
think.
than
I think
that.
it's
Yeah, I think it was more
14.
than that. Yeah, but they look awesome, and I want to say Alyssa Thomas is back playing with them now.
Mm,
So she didn't play all year, but she had the shoulder thing going on. But to have her back for playoff action, that's gonna be crazy. Obviously, we can't say enough about Jonquel Jones,
hmm.
just being a beast on both ends of the floor. She's
She's the
amazing.
MVP, right? MVP
Yeah,
of the league. Yeah.
MVP. And Connecticut like racked up. They had MVP, they had Coach of the Year, and they had Most
Hmm.
Improved Player of the Year with Brianna Jones. So there's a lot going on with the league right now. The playoffs. Before we continue talking playoffs, one of the issues I don't know if you caught this, but just with the Mercury having some issues with their facility. Have you heard about that?
No, no, I haven't.
And it's happened in the past, but like the first single elimination game, first round, they had to play at Grand Valley State University. They couldn't even play in their home
Oh,
arena because of some concerts that were scheduled. And same thing is about to happen for, yeah, for this round. Now that we're in the semis, I think they said game 3 would have to be played at like Arizona State because Disney on Ice is scheduled there. So it's
Disney
like,
on Ice.
this is what I'm saying. Now, and I've seen this happen before. I used to work for Monumental and the Mystics and Wizards and whatnot. So when it came summertime, it was like, why are we pushing these women out of their home arenas? It just speaks to how we're not prioritizing women's sports. And I hate that. I hate it. It's happened to other teams around the league before. New York got bounced around a few times.
Hmm.
I don't know what needs to happen, for that not to be taking place. Like, this is the playoffs, for the world's best
Hmm.
league, for
You
women's
know what needs to
basketball.
happen?
What's that?
People need to take a page out of the Washington Mystics book and give them their own arena.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean, I
think
know.
that was one of the best things that could have happened in DC for the WNBA. Their own arena.
Hmm.
We all know that the population of an NBA game and a WNBA game is a big difference. And for them to
Yeah,
have their own arena, the fans are closer. It just seems more you're going to the Mystic Stadium for their game.
fair.
So if the cities could find a location where we wouldn't have these incidences where, Disney on
Hmm.
Ice or whatever is happening and
Yeah,
make it their own home. Even the Clippers are getting their own arena now. They're tired of being under the Lakers umbrella.
yeah.
So, once these cities start respecting, what the
Hmm.
WNBA has to offer, they'll make the right choices. I'm hoping they
Right.
do.
Right. And these ownership groups and, like you said, cities that can come together to recognize it as a need for sure. Like, I'm trying to think who else. I know Atlanta also has a new arena that they share with the G League team, similar to DC with the Mystics. I don't know, man. That's an issue though. It's not cool to have to move them
Yeah,
around, especially during this time when it's getting down to playoffs. Like, you want to
like
be in
during the
your
playoffs.
routine. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Like Disney on Ice needs to start later in the day or
Right.
change the
And
time. Like,
that's a
let the
schedule.
WNBA play their game.
That's a simple scheduling issue. Like, if
Hmm.
I am, on a facility side or working on events, like, you just have to plan around that. Like, that it can't
Hmm.
be like that has to be prioritized if this is their home arena. You can't. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
wild to
the
me.
fact that they
So
didn't schedule that is definitely something that the administration of that organization needs to really put their foot on and make sure it
yeah.
never happens again. Because they
Yep.
have stars. You have Skylar Diggins, Vanessa Rousey, and Brittany
Mm-hmm.
Griner on your team, and you don't prioritize their playoff game.
Yeah.
They would never do that for a men's sport.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about the disparities in the game, and we know what they are, and we come together so that we can help break those barriers,
For sure.
and build those bridges. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing we're doing is giving these lives and promoting opportunities for people to come together to have this dialogue. And I'm just so happy with the donations and everything we've received so far.
Mm-hmm.
And we are lucky to have our organization, Grapevine, who helps with disseminating our grants.
Mm-hmm.
They're offering us double the donation. How you feel about that, Monique?
I'm still here.
I said, how do you feel about that? What Grapevine
Oh, I'm
is
sorry. I
doing
think
right now?
yeah, I
Can you
had
hear
a
me?
little. I had a little break in my service. Yeah, no, the grapevine match is amazing. It happens like in philanthropy often where, you have a corporate entity that pretty much matches, or it could just be an individual. But for us to be able to put this in action now and have these next few days to get a match from anybody who donates to our campaign on the Grapevine platform. I think that's just huge. It's just going to take our dollars further, and what we're looking to do for our first grant, looking in 2022. So I just see it as a way for us to set up for some good momentum, to, like I said, put some things in action and really, serve some folks with grants for our projects. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes through. And I had a couple people definitely hit me up and say, "Hey, yeah, like what's that about? What does that mean?" Like it means if you donate, you get to double it. So
Yes.
yeah, it's a good time for someone who, if you've never donated before, please consider it because your donation will go further this go around these next few days up until the 30th.
Yes. And I agree. Even, we have our monthly donation set up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me reach deeper into my pocket and give more this month so that it can double. So I'm definitely taking
Yes.
advantage of that. Text it to your friends, everyone, share it. Even if you donate $5, your five will turn into 10.
Mm-hmm.
Any amount that you can offer can benefit a young black girl student athlete, a young black female student athlete. And right now is a super important time because everyone is getting back out there. The restrictions are loosening a bit, but sports are open. People are playing more, people are going out. So now is the time for us to really be in a position to support. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you can support in any other way, you can't donate now. Of course, we will still accept your donations after. But
Yes.
now is the time to make one donation count twice.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think too, like I said, just headed into like this last quarter of the year, if the dollar isn't the way you're thinking you might want to support us, we are looking to add more people into our squad, which is the Giving Circle in general. And so we have various ways that we're looking to just form some committees. So I would also ask that folks consider joining the squad. We're going to start hosting some info sessions like once a month through October, November, and December. So we would love to have you all share, register and join one of our Zoom sessions. You can register on Eventbrite, and that link will be in our bio. But definitely, if you want to learn more about what the squad is and what this Giving Circle means and how you can get involved and really supporting, really, again, just bridging the gap. That's what we're looking to do, bridging the gap and offering, ways to break down some of these barriers that are happening for Black girls and women in sports. So these info sessions, be on the lookout for that once a month through this year. 2022 is I'm excited already about what's to come, for us
For sure.
building this squad up for real.
For sure. All right, people. So you heard Monique. Check the link in our bio. You can look
Mm-hmm.
at all the links in our bio if you want. We got a lot of information on there. Our website, like she said, our Eventbrite, the
Mm-hmm.
donation link. Make your donation count twice. You will help a young black female student athlete with her dreams or a black led organization.
Mm-hmm.
Come through, help us. Thank you, Heather. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, Heather.
For
This is why we
sure.
do it. This is a legacy project for us. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
something we want to do sometimes. We want to do this up until it's that time.
Right, right,
This is
right.
something we're gonna do forever, no matter what job we have.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legacy project for us, but we're creating this for the people. We want this to continue on for years and years to come.
Yep.
So DM us, and we would love to hear what else you have to say about our top 25 list. One person before we get off, one person who I had on my list, but we were like, oh, let's just do WNBA, Cheryl Miller.
Who? Oh yeah, I knew you were gonna drop
You
that.
just can't you just can't not put her on the list with
For
other
sure.
female basketball players. But what do you guys think? Let us know what you think. If you're still listening, if you're in, type us who is your GOAT. We will let them know who your GOAT is.
For
Ours is
sure.
Cynthia Cooper, and Tina Thompson is the
Okay, that's
GOAT.
a
That's
good
what Heather
one. That's
said.
a good one.
Her
Definitely,
lipstick is
definitely.
the GOAT. Her lipstick is the GOAT.
Again, what does she mean for the game, right? Like she let y'all know it was cool. You could be out here wear your lipstick if you want and still hoop. So I'm not mad at that one. I love Tina
Yes.
Thompson too,
The
for
ultimate
sure.
dynasty, you're right. And
Yeah.
rest in peace, Kim Parrott. I mean,
Hmm.
if you had to put one team in the upper echelon when it comes to NFL, NBA, whatever, the Houston Comets of
Hmm.
those years, they have to be in your top groups of teams. Heather said Mac Diva, that lipstick popping threes. She would kill me with
Yeah, she
those
was like
threes,
this
man.
all
She
the
would
time,
kill me.
all the
Whew.
time. Yeah. That's interesting though. And I wonder. I would be interested to know just like around the country or around the world what teams, people really like what teams really resonated with people just around the world in general. Because actually I noticed I think Google might have come out with this commercial with the W and it's like an Asian family. It's like an older Asian woman and she's just like in love with the WNBA at family functions, everything. She's just like staring at the computer. And I just thought it was the coolest thing because you rarely see, and she was older too, so you had like the ageism thing going on. But no, like I just thought it was awesome to see like different cultures represented too. So I say that to say, even if you want to join the squad wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the country, in the states, like we would love to make this movement a global situation. So you can absolutely, join wherever you are in the world and help us move this movement forward.
All right, let's
Yep,
continue to
yep.
move this movement. We're so glad for y'all listening and tuning in. Don't forget, go to the links in the bio. You have until the end of September to make
Hmm.
your donation count. You will help a female student athlete. Thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you. DM us anytime.
All right. Y'all take care. Have a great week. Peace.
Peace.